Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. And today I want to talk about how a market reversal can happen in both Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in its entirety. So we're going to be going through some of the new theories that have been circulating around, as well as the ones that I just see as more probable. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this. So there are a couple of these theories, and as I said, I want to go through some of the ones that I see as the most probable, but also some of the newer ones that have been making their way around and getting more noticed as of lately. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the most popular ones first, and then we'll dive into probably the most fast-growing ones second. So I would say that the most popular one right now is that we have indeed hit bottom, and that people are calling this the bottom, and that if this is the bottom, then what you would see is really just this kind of sideways action from this point, where we would see just this parallel movement in the price action of Bitcoin, staying within this very relatively low concentrated area, where you have this very small concentrated price action of Bitcoin bouncing between probably 3,100 and 4,300, and it just kind of ricocheting back and forth in here, staying very low on volume, very boring, very low on volatility, and kind of just stomping people out. And really just what this would do is make people reach the point of capitulation and getting so bored in this market and saying, okay, it is dead, it's not moving anymore, I'm getting bored, I can't trade this, it's not mooning like I thought it was going to do from this price. If this is the true bottom, then it would have already shot up in price by now. And you're going to get all these people that are really double thinking their positions on both cryptocurrency and I guess both the altcoins and in Bitcoin, if this was the case. Now, this would be something very similar to what we saw over the course of 2014 when we had the crash and then the market reversal there. You had a very low concentrated area of where Bitcoin would jump through, and it really just sat there for a long period of time, and you had this capitulation period where people were essentially just giving up hope and exiting out of Bitcoin because of the boredom factor that it brought with it. And I think that this is one of the most popular theories for that reason, and that it could very well play out towards really the same case in the same way that 2014, 2015, and 16 did. Now, moving into probably one of the most fastest growing theories, I would say, is that this is just going to repeat the entire cycle of 2018. Now, if you guys don't remember, over the course of 2018, we formed the giant descending triangle, and when this is brought into effect over here, you can't help but ask yourself, are we just repeating the cycle? Because it seemingly kind of looks like that, at least from over here and from what we're getting. This could just be repeating the cycle, except on a smaller scale. And I want to emphasize that because of the fact that this could just be repeating the cycle, but on a smaller scale. And if this is a descending triangle and it wants to play out, we'll go through some of the touch points in here, because we already have, again, 1, 2, 3 touch points on resistance, but we only really have 1 touch point on support. So maybe the support can be moved up to somewhere around this area. Maybe this is just like a piercing area, but for the time being, I want to go ahead and say that this is going to be the floor of the descending triangle if it wants to play out. So looking at this, you kind of are at a decision point for Bitcoin, because in order to contradict this theory, you really have to break out towards the upside and start conquering some of these higher highs. Because if you keep going down, and let's go ahead and draw this out so we can kind of visualize this, if you kind of keep going down from this area and kind of keep ricocheting in this, and I don't know, within this descending triangle and really confirming it, then I think, oops, wrong tool. Then I think what will happen is that this thing will break down, and I think that's really something that no one wants to see. I think that there's very few people right now who are wanting the price of Bitcoin to go down. The only people who want it to go down are the people who either hate Bitcoin and hate blockchain, or they are people who just want to accumulate a lot more. But if this is something that keeps playing out, much like last year, we'll probably get squeezed at around April, and then we'll probably, fall down and are probably around May. And if this were to fall down, I would imagine that we could see a price action on Bitcoin relative to probably the low 2000s. And that would not make a whole lot of sense to me. Again, we talked about why I don't think that the $1,800 could be a support. But if this thing plays out all the way, it would be seemingly go to around $1,800. Funny enough, and I know I talked about why that would not be the bottom of Bitcoin, but if this descending triangle pattern plays out all the way, and this actually does see a downfall in the price action of Bitcoin around mid-2019, a bottom for 2000, or excuse me, a bottom for 1800 on Bitcoin would actually be something that's possible. And maybe this is the theory as to why this is the bottom of Bitcoin. Personally, I don't think a lot of people even looked at this or realized that this could be a possibility. But something that I also want to bring up at the really emphasizing is that the halvening on Bitcoin is going to be in the summer around May of 2020. So if this were to happen and we were to bottom at around mid 2000 or summer, or summer, early or late spring, early summer of 2019, then what that would do is that would put us having a bottom of Bitcoin exactly a year before the halvening of Bitcoin happens. So why is that significant? Well, there was a theory going around saying that whenever there is a halvening on Bitcoin or something along those lines, about a year before that, you usually have some sort of a market reversal or things really start picking up the pace. Because that's when people really start taking it seriously, because again, a halvening is really nothing to joke about. And so when we look at this and we look at this descending triangle theory, the first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, well, if this does play out and this does work, of course you could have this falling wedge still work, but also it could correlate to a lot of things. It could correlate to this $1,800 price bottom on Bitcoin. It could correlate to this falling wedge being, still used as support in some form. And then it could also correlate that this goes hand in hand with, again, with the halvening and all these other things that are happening right now. So this is just another one of the theories, probably one of the newer theories, but in order to contradict this theory, what we have to do is really, again, start conquering some of these higher levels on Bitcoin. And I think that if it can do that and contradict this this descending triangle pattern, then that is going to be something that is a really good case scenario for Bitcoin, and going in with option A rather than option B. And I would say option A is this, again, this horizontal boring period of capitulation, whereas option B would be this descending triangle that we drawed out. And then I would say that there could be like one more option, and that is just that option C. And I think option C is one of the most least likely, but it's something along the lines of we just continue to, well, I guess there are two options. So we have option C, which could be just, this is it, and we just go back up. I think that one's very unlikely. And then we also have option D, which is just, we just kind of keep crashing until we V up, and then it's market reversal time. That's another thing that people really believe is going to happen, and I don't think either of those are. I think both of those views, both C and D, are both too extreme for me. I don't think it's going to be this time where it just takes off again, and I don't think it's going to be this thing where it just dumps and then just rallies back up again. I think it's really going to be this time, again, a lot like we saw in past markets with cryptocurrency, where it's going to, I guess more specifically Bitcoin, where it is not just this finite bottom where we just explode towards the upside or to the downside and then back towards the upside. That's not the same market, guys. We are not in the same space that we were a year ago at the beginning of 2018. We are now in 2019, and it cannot be treated in the same way. And I want to go ahead and emphasize this and look at this, because a lot of people believe that this is what's going to happen again, and we are just going to take off the 50,000 like from the get-go as soon as this bull reversal happens. And I don't think that that's something that's going to happen. So when looking at this and counting on a market reversal, you have to, again, I would say one of the biggest things is going towards historical analysis and realizing, looking at the past, what could be a possible scenario for the future. So that's going to go ahead and round off this video, guys. I want to know what you guys think is going to happen for the reversal of Bitcoin. Do you guys think it's going to be one of the options that I listed, or do you guys think it's going to be maybe one of the personal or one of the options that I did not list? I'm curious, so let me know in the comment section below. But if you guys did enjoy the video, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.